In this short video, we will explain to you about 22 commonly asked questions about Singapore Company Incorporation. The topics that we are briefly going to cover are listed here. So let's begin. The question on this slide is about the type of legal entities a foreigner can register in Singapore. As you may know, there is a sole proprietorship, partnership, and limited liability partnership on one side and a corporate structure on the other side. Out of this, as a foreigner, you cannot set up first three types of legal entities. So the only legal entity structure which is allowed to you as a foreigner is that of a corporate entity. Corporate entities are further divided into three types: private limited company, a branch, and a representative office. 98% of the foreigners will register a private limited company. The other two are very specific structures. So in your case, mostly, the choice will be to incorporate a private limited company. The question on this slide is about taking shareholding as a foreigner. Can you as a foreigner, start a company in Singapore? The answer is, yes, you can. Any person from any country can incorporate a company in Singapore. The next question is, can you hold 100% shareholding in your company, or do you need to give some shareholding to a local partner? In Singapore, you can hold 100% of your company's shareholding. There is no need to give any shareholding to any local person. This is different from the practice in many countries where the involvement of a local partner is a must. The questions on this slide are about nominee director. First of all, what is the requirement? Every Singapore company must have at least one local resident director. So if you have some local resident person to work as a director of your company, then it's good. The local person must be a Singapore citizen or a Singapore permanent resident. In case you don't have anybody to be the director of your company, then we at Epica provide nominee director service at additional charges. In this case, we will provide a local person from our panel to act as a director of your company. The next question is there any risk in engaging a nominee director? For example, can the nominee director take control of my company? The answer is there are no risks. When you sign up for nominee director service, an agreement is signed up whereby nominee director is excluded from all authorities and work responsibilities of the company. And in addition to the nominee director, you or your representative will be appointed as a managing director. Besides, you are also 100% owner of the company. So all decision-making authority is with you. The next topic is about the bank account. The bank account is required for the company to be able to make and receive payment, incur expenses, etc. The first question is which banks are available for account opening in Singapore? Singapore being a financial hub, there are many banks that operate here. OCBC Bank, DBS Bank, Assisi Bank are the main banks providing accounts for foreigner incorporated companies. In addition to this, Citibank, HSBC and Standard Chartered Bank also provide services, but their initial balance requirements are high. Now, most of the banks offer a multi-currency account. So in the same bank, in the same main account, you can open separate accounts, say for USD, GBP, and any other currency. This way, all your accounts will be available in single login. All banks provide complete online banking facilities. So you can carry out transactions from anywhere in the world. The next question is about bank account balances. Usually, most of the banks ask for 3,000 Singapore dollars as an initial and minimum balance for Singapore dollar account, and $1,000 of initial and minimum balance for all other currency accounts. If the balance falls below the minimum amount, then a monthly fall below fee will be imposed on your account. The next question is about how do you deposit initial balance. This can be done online. Once a bank account is opened, you can transfer the required funds to your account. Some banks will need an initial balance to be paid at the time of submitting the account opening form. This can be provided by way of a check. If your share capital amount is large, then that can be transferred from your home country by electronic transfer. Is my share capital put in bank account locked? Or can I use it for expenses? No, it's not locked. Once deposited, this amount can be used for business expenses. This section is about the employment pass application. If you are not planning to apply for an employment pass, then you can skip this section. Can I apply for employment pass before the company is incorporated? No, that is not possible. The application for employment pass can be lodged only by a business registered in Singapore. So it is necessary that the company is incorporated first. Which factors determine the approval of employment pass? Why it gets approved or why is it rejected, especially for newly incorporated companies? This is one of the important questions. Usually while deciding approval, the Ministry of Manpower looks at candidates' background and the background of the company. If your company is in sectors that are in demand in Singapore, and if the candidate has previous working experience in that sector, then approval is generally not a problem. Sectors in demand are information technology, finance, banking, fintech, biotech, etc. In contrast to this, if you are planning to start a company in a very common sector like a grocery shop, then approval of employment is not likely to happen. The next question is, I will incorporate the company first and then apply for the employment pass under the same company? Is this practice legal? Some people find this bit odd. Because here you first create a company, and then your company files an application for your employment pass. But this practice is perfectly legal. As mentioned already, an employment pass can be processed only by a Singapore-registered business. So once the company is incorporated, an application for employment pass can be made. Should I hold the shareholding in the company or not, if I want to apply for employment pass? Many people get confused about this as different service providers follow practices based on their understanding. However, in reality, this has no relevance. Whether you hold shareholding or not, or whether you hold 100% shareholding in the company, Ministry will only look at the company sector and background, and the candidate's background. So the short answer is, it does not matter. Sometimes people also ask if my company is new, then how it can show a promising background. In such a case, the background of the parent company or the background of the promoters can be used to prove the promise of the newly incorporated company. What is the processing time for employment pass? Once the company is incorporated, the application for an employment pass can be filed after 3 to 4 days. Once an application is filed, it will take 2 to 3 weeks to receive the outcome. Please note that the application is filed online. If I incorporate the company, do I get a right to get a pass? If the pass is not approved, how can I work for my company? Employment Act regulations and Companies Act rules are entirely separate. Just because you incorporated a company here in Singapore does not give you the right to get an employment pass. Pass application will always be assessed on its own merits. You can always visit Singapore on a visitor pass for your business meetings and deals. This section is about the documents required for incorporation. If you are an individual, we will need a copy of your passport, second identification proof like driving license, Aadhaar card, and a proof of residential address. This can be a recent utility or phone bill in your name. This information needs to be provided for every person who appears as a director or shareholder of the Singapore company. If a corporate entity is taking up a shareholding, then incorporation certificate, director and shareholders' details from the corporate registry and a board resolution will be required. Additionally, passport copies and proof of address for every ultimate beneficial owner will be required. Ultimate beneficial owners will be the individual shareholders of the parent entity. In addition to this, information about your business background will be required in all cases. What are the steps involved in company registration through us? When you are ready to incorporate a company, please contact us. We will provide you a company registration form and a KYC form. Please fill this up and send it to us along with the documents mentioned above. We will go through all the details, and once okay, we can proceed for incorporation after the payment of fees. If you are present in Singapore, then the documents can be signed in our office. If you are overseas, you can sign documents electronically. Once the company is incorporated, we will arrange your meeting with the banker for bank account opening. A company can be incorporated remotely also. For this, in addition to the above process, you will need to mail the document copies notarized to our office. Generally, banks need your personal presence to open the account. However, during the coronavirus period, some banks are allowing remote bank account opening facility. So please check on this with our staff. This section is about business licensing. Do I need a business license? Most of the businesses do not require a special license to operate. Once the company is incorporated, you can start activities right away. However, certain sectors are regulated and require a license. Typical examples are a travel agency, educational institution, financial advisors, employment agency, etc. So check about this with our staff. What are your responsibilities as an owner of the Singapore registered company? First of all, you should ensure that you comply with all local regulations and licensing requirements if applicable. Please note the requirements in Singapore may be different from those in your home country. Secondly, you should maintain timely accounting records, provide details for filing with government departments as required. Lastly, you should pay taxes and dues on time. Do Singapore companies need to be renewed annually? Does the registration lapses if not renewed? The way Singapore companies operate is different than some other jurisdiction. There is no annual renewal. You need to do the annual filing, but it's not renewal per se. The company does not automatically lapse if not renewed. If you are not going to use the company, then the company needs to be closed specifically by strike-off process. Not filing accounts on time can result in significant fines. What to do in case your plans do not work out? In case the purpose and idea with which you incorporated the company is not working out, then you can always close the company. The process is called strike-off. It takes 6 months and cost of about $1,000 to close the company. So thank you for watching this video. Get in touch with us today to incorporate your Singapore company.